Hey everyone, I'm Big John and welcome to another episode of the Diz Ability Show. Now, this week I want to talk to you about dining reservations. So, when you have a trip booked right now what they're doing right now for as part of the park reservation thing is make your dining reservations 60 days out. And it used to be 90 days out back when they had the fast pass thing, which of course ain't happening anymore. Anyway, so if you have a trip coming up, you make your reservations 60 days in advance, and make sure that it's a restaurant that you absolutely want to do. Now, of course, some of our favorites are the Sci-Fi Dine-In Theater and like Raglan Road, Teppanito, Via Napoli. Make sure a restaurant that you love or a restaurant that you want to try, and make sure you look at the menu because not everyone eats the same things. Of course, especially if you have a member of your party who is a very picky eater, like I am, and it is a good idea to make sure that you find restaurants that can satisfy everyone's needs. Because no restaurants two restaurants will have the exact same menu. So make sure when you book a reservation, make sure you look at the menu, and then if there's no reservations available, just go down the list. It's what we do. So anyway, that's my tip. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions on how to do Disney for people with disabilities, and I'll make sure it gets into a future episode. And now it's time for this week's Top 5. So, for those of you who have Disney Plus, there has been a very popular show called Behind the Attractions, which goes behind the scenes of some of Disney's most popular attractions. And this week, I'm going to talk about my top 5 attractions that have been highlighted on Behind the Attraction. So, number 5, the Disneyland Hotel. Now, this was the OG Disneyland Hotel, because Walt wanted it to make sure people stayed in the magic during their trip to Disneyland. So he wanted a place where people can just go and then wake up the next morning and just go to the park. And that of course inspired all the Disney hotels around the world. And that is very special. All right, number 4, the episode featuring the Haunted Mansion. Now, this episode is one of the features, of course, one of the greatest rides in Disney history. Back in the 50s, Walt wanted a Haunted Mansion. He and his Imagineers had designs for the mansion. They even built the building, but the ride didn't open, and Walt passed away before its completion. And of course, has inspired the one Haunted Mansion in the Magic Kingdom, the one in Tokyo, Phantom Manor, or in Disneyland Paris, and Mystic Manor in Hong Kong. So Shanghai is the only Disney park that doesn't have a Haunted Mansion, is what I'm saying. So number 3, the episode highlighting Star Tours. Now this episode actually highlights Disney's relations with George Lucas, the man, the myth, the legend. And he actually visited Disneyland the second day it opened, which is pretty wild if you think about it. and it talks about Star Tours and Star Tours: The Adventures Continue, and it molded into Galaxy's Edge. So it doesn't just talk about Star Tours, it talks about the whole Star Wars immersion at the Disney parks, and that is what is really cool. And number 2, the episode with the Jungle Cruise. Again, classic attraction. It talks about how the skipper's shtick used to be serious and educational, but then an Imagineer/operator decided that there should be a whole lot of shtick into it, a whole lot of comedy into it, which became the Jungle Cruise that we know today. And of course, the Jungle Cruise that we know that is made into the hit movie with The Rock. And the Jungle... And my number 1 Behind the Attractions episode, the castles. The icons of the parks. They are perhaps... When you think Disney, you think the castles. Am I right? Right. I mean, the Sleeping Beauty Castle at Disneyland, Cinderella Castle in Florida, Cinderella Castle in Tokyo, whatever the heck you say it in French in Paris, the Castle of Dreams, I think it's called, in Hong Kong, and the Enchanted Storybook Castle in Shanghai. These are castles that celebrate the magic of the parks. And magic is what it's all about. So anyway, let me know in the comments what your favorite episode of Behind the Attraction is. And if you haven't seen it, what are you waiting for? Don't you have Disney Plus? So anyway, some more entertainment news. So earlier this week, a certain Disney news site said, I reported that Finding Nemo the musical is never coming back to Animal Kingdom, which made people very sad and startled, especially the cast members of the show. However, the next day, Disney announced that at Finding Nemo the musical is actually getting a brand new version next year. So you don't trust everything that you see on Disney news sites. Also, Disney announced. So last week we talked about how Disney has plans to bring back Candlelight Processional for the Christmas season at Epcot. Disney has announced that it will indeed come back on November 26th. And that is very good because it is perhaps one of the biggest highlights of the Christmas season at Disney. With the huge choir of cast members accompanied by the Voices of Liberty, a large orchestra, and of course a celebrity narrator. And I have yet to see the show myself because of unforeseen circumstances, but hopefully next time I go to Florida for the holidays, I get to see Candlelight because it is a beautiful show. So, and speaking of beautiful shows, that's it for this one. As I said before, let me know in the comments if you have any questions on how to do Disney for people with disabilities, and I'll make sure it gets to a future episode. Now, for this week's shout-outs, make sure you check out my buddy Michael over at Mousepiration. He does an amazing podcast, and he has a new talk show called The Not So Late Show coming up this fall. Make sure you guys check that out, because I might be on it sometimes. And also, if you're looking for an agent to help you plan your next Disney vacation, make sure you check out Kim Colian. She Plans Travel. That's her Facebook page. She has a mom with autism. She has a son with autism, and she can help you plan your next Disney vacation. Also, make sure you check out Bethany over at Villains and Vice. She does amazing theme park videos, as does my other shout out this week, Theme Park Lifestyle. 2 great theme park sources. And as always, for the latest attraction news, make sure you check out my good friends over at Attractions Magazine. And until next time, have a zippity-doo-dah day.